The Homeless Billionaire Hedge Fund is a group of well-known business people who have purchased a 29% share of Burger King worth $1.4 billion. In a deal that will see the second-largest burger chain in the world return to the stock market, Nicholas Berggruuen, who goes by his nickname because he flies between the world's most opulent hotels in a private Gulfstream 4 jet, and his business partner Bill Ackman, a multi-billionaire activist investor, announced that Justice Holdings, a London-listed investment vehicle, has bought the minority stake. But to know how this mega deal was made, keep watching the video till the end. Here we begin. Burger King stood out as a unique worldwide player with a strong tradition, according to Berggruuen, who began with a $250,000 trust fund and is now worth more than $2.3 billion. Picasso's close friend and successful art collector's son, Berggruuen, left a Swiss boarding school after being expelled and moved to New York, where he established a real estate empire in the already incredibly trendy West Village. Before he was 27, he co-founded a group of hedge funds. The night before the Oscars, Berggruuen, 50, threw a star-studded party at Hollywood's Chateau Marmont, where visitors included stars like Paris Hilton and Leonardo DiCaprio. The restaurant chain Burger King Corporation is known for its flame-broiled fast food hamburgers. After McDonald's, it is the second-largest hamburger chain in the country. Early in the 21st century, Burger King reportedly had 14,000 locations in approximately 100 nations. The offices are located in Miami, Florida. The business claims that James W. McLemore and David Edgerton founded Burger King in Miami in 1954. However, in other accounts, Keith Kramer and Matthew Burns started their business, Insta Burger King, in Jacksonville, Florida in 1953. In 1959, McLemore and Edgerton sold their first franchises, and soon Burger King was a widely recognized brand. In 1963, the business opened a location in Puerto Rico as part of its international expansion. Burger King saw numerous changes in ownership and corporate governance due to consistently falling behind McDonald's in sales and profitability. It was sold to the Pillsbury Company in 1967, which hired Donald N. Smith, a former executive to McDonald's, to upgrade and rejuvenate Burger King by expanding the menu and tightening control over franchises in the late 1970s. In 1989, the British corporation Grand Metropolitan plc bought Pillsbury outright. Following its 1997 merger with Irish brewer Guinness plc, Grand Met became Diageo plc. In 2002, a group of private equity investors led by the Texas Pacific Group, Bain Capital, and Goldman Sachs Capital Partners purchased Burger King from Diageo, founders of Burger King. In 1954, McLemore and Edgerton began by acquiring a single Insta Burger King location in Miami. Although the Miami metropolitan area's expansion made it a great place to launch a new chain, an improvement to the Insta Broiler device was required. In order to solve the issues with the Insta Broiler, McLemore and Edgerton developed a gas grill they named a Flame Broiler. The Insta Burger franchise had expanded by 1959, but the Kramer-Burns business had encountered financial difficulties, so McLemore and Edgerton purchased the entire business to restructure and re-energize its operations. By 1961, the newly renamed Burger King and its emblematic Whopper burger had started to proliferate through the U.S. Donald Smith's involvement. Executive Donald N. Smith was stolen by Burger King from McDonald's in 1978. He changed the company's franchise agreements so that owners could not operate stores more than an hour's drive from their homes, reducing absentee ownership, and so they could not own franchises in other chains, boosting loyalty. Numerous unsuccessful franchise owners left the business, cutting its fat. In response to McDonald's ads featuring live-action renditions of Ronald McDonald and his buddies, Burger King started to engage kids by using characters with a similar name, such as Sir Shake-a-Lot, the Wizard of Fries, and a Burger King who is also a magician. Smith competed against his former employer, Long John Silver's Kentucky Fried Chicken, by introducing Burger King's fish sandwich and Wendy's chicken sandwich. By 1980, business sales had increased by 15%, and Smith was recruited more, this time by PepsiCo. Sales dropped as soon as he left. Influence of Norman Brinker. When Pillsbury acquired his Steak and Ale franchise, Norman Brinker was brought in and given the task of bringing the business around. Instead, he began the Burger Wars by airing advertising that claimed Burger King's burgers were bigger and better than McDonald's, and this may have been the first attack ads in the food business to be of a political nature. Brinker's efforts, like Smith's, were short-lived before he departed from the company and went on to build Chili's restaurant empire. Burger King once more declined without Smith or Brinker, which was one of the factors in Pillsbury's inability to resist a takeover attempt by the British firm Grand Metropolitan plc. Grand Met altered Burger King's distribution strategies, switching their soft drink contract from Pepsi to Coca-Cola, collaborating with the Walt Disney Company to tie in with Disney films, and expanding BK around the world. in part by purchasing the business that ran the British-based Wimpy burger chain. 10% of the company will be owned by Ackman and his family, 2% each by Berggruen and Franklin, and 15% will be held in free float. The former city minister and current chair of justice are Lord Miners. Trading has stopped in London. In Miners' opinion, the Burger King transaction stood head and shoulders above any other potential justice targets because it was very enticing. Justice's board is stacked with notable individuals, including Alan Parker, the former CEO of British hotel and restaurant group Whitbread, and Nouriel Roubini, the economist known as Dr. Doom, for foreseeing the financial catastrophe that struck in 2008. Franklin and Parker became board members of Burger King. Following its delisting in 2010 following 3G's acquisition, Burger King's finance director Daniel Schwartz stated that it was the appropriate time for Burger King to be publicly traded in the U.S. again. According to him, the transaction gave Burger King an enterprise value of $8 billion, about twice what 3G spent. More than 11 million people are served by Burger King every day at 12,500 locations across the globe. Independent franchises own and run about 90% of their stores. The business, founded in 1954, 1 year before McDonald's, had a total revenue of $580.6 million last year versus $27 billion for McDonald's. On July 25, the Pittsburgh police were dispatched to Burger King on East Carson Street to investigate a report of an unattended and empty building. The police were under the impression that the staff had left, according to independent journalist Don Carpenter, who was listening to a police scanner. Officials from Pittsburgh Public Safety were contacted, and while they declined to comment on why the workers had left their jobs, they did confirm that the building had been abandoned on the evening of July 25, but had not been locked or secured. Instead, the building was secured after Pittsburgh Zone 3 police made contact with a Burger King keyholder, according to Assistant Public Safety Officer Maurice Matthews II. The dining room was closed and there were signs on the door saying, "Our apologies for the inconvenience. Dining room is temporarily closed, thank you," when City Paper arrived at Burger King at 9:30 a.m. on July 26. One employee was cleaning tables inside the dining area. However, when a customer arrived at the drive-thru, the employee hastily ran out and informed City Paper that the establishment was closed until more staff arrived. Tom's King, an Illinois-based business that owns more than 130 Burger King restaurants throughout Illinois, Ohio, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, is the owner and operator of this Burger King franchise. Press reached out to Tom's King for comment, but they did not respond. Other local eateries have also reduced their hours due to a lack of staff, and Pittsburgh has restricted the number of public pools this summer due to a lack of lifeguards. Certain Pittsburgh firms are having problems filling openings and keeping employees is unclear. Some claim that increasing wages will alleviate the issue. In contrast, others claim that continued concerns about the epidemic prevent some people from returning to professions requiring interaction with the public. Economists also point to Pittsburgh's demographics as a hindrance to full employment. According to some analysts, the lower tax rates in Canada could eventually work in Burger King's favor. However, according to Schwartz, the agreement won't lead to any significant tax savings for the business. Compared to the present effective rates in Canada, he claimed that Burger King's blended tax rate in the U.S. is in the mid to high 20s. In accordance with the agreement, Burger King will exchange each Tim Hortons share for $0.8025 common shares of the new firm and $65.50 Canadian in cash. Based on Burger King's Monday closing stock price, the amounts of $94.05 Canadian in total value per Tim Hortons share. Alternatives include all cash or all stock options for Tim Hortons stockholders. That's it for today's video. If you liked our video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching.